Hey, I am TC, your girlfriend, not girlfriend, and the most honest F buddy you've never had. Today's topic: the biggest mistake I see in friends with benefits relationships. Number one mistake I see are people ignoring emotional shifts. So, what do I mean by that? When you feel something, you don't say nothing. And I mean, you really feel something, right? One of the two in the relationship starts to feel a strong emotional shift. Either it's they no longer want to be there or they really want something more. Usually it's one of them wanting something more and they don't say anything. Big mistake. Because now, when you are starting to feel that and you're not saying anything, you open up the door for yourself to possibly get hurt or hurt them. Because let's say, out of the blue, they find somebody that they are really interested in starting a future with. And they let you know, like, hey, I met somebody and I'm about to make that transition. Well, now you've been sitting there pining after them in this friends with benefits relationship for who knows how long. And you're going to be upset that they have chosen someone else. And you may start to feel like they've chosen that person over you, when that never was the case because you never were an option, because that's not the dynamic you guys discussed. And I don't say this to just you, but it could be the other way around, where you're with someone and you found someone, and once you leave, that person feels some type of way towards you. And then you guys are not even able to maintain your friendship because that pain is there. So that's a huge mistake. Communication. I always say that when you start to feel those emotional shifts, say something. Don't ignore them. The next one kind of piggybacks off of the first one, but this one is hiding from the truth and not sharing it with the other person. So the first one is kind of more an internal thing. When you feel that, make sure you pay attention to it and you don't ignore that. But this one is more like, okay, you know that that is the case. You're not trying to like talk yourself out of it and you're not trying to deny that that's the case. Whereas the first one, you're trying to deny that you are actually feeling some type of way about this person. This one is, you know that you feel some type of way about this person and you are intentionally not sharing. That is an issue because now you are not allowing the other person to make an informed decision going forward about how you guys should move, given the added information of your escalated emotions. So you run the same risk as before, but this one, you're actually a super willing participant in your pain, because the first one, you're trying to ignore it, you're trying to act like it's not a thing, and you're trying to talk yourself out of it, and you're not really noticing how deep you're going in emotionally. This one, you know that you're going deep, or you're deep in emotionally, and you're choosing not to share it because you are fearful of the dynamic changing, that person feeling like, whoa, this is too much. Let's calm down. Don't do that. That is a mistake. That is a mistake. That risk that I talked about before, it can be a super painful one. And then you have to deal with the fact that you've been sitting with this for a while and you've known this and you didn't share. Communication is key, guys. Everyone says it. I recommend check-ins. So let's say you're not the person who is feeling this type of way and you just feel like maybe the other person is trying to hide this truth about their emotional shift. Have a check-in with that person. Sit down and ask them, hey, I just want to know how are you feeling? I discussed check-ins a while ago. I'm a firm believer in check-ins because everyone is not as willing and open to share how they're feeling or where they're going, or they're fearful of repercussions from sharing. So sometimes you gotta not force it out of a person, but coerce it out of a person through communication and healthy dialogue. So I would advise having those check-ins if you're noticing maybe there's a possibility for an emotional shift to be happening in that other person. The next one, and this may be more controversial, but I feel this way because of how my friends with benefits dynamics were and went. I feel like it is a big mistake to make the claim that you are not going to involve emotions at all. If you want to have a good time with a person, let's say you're platonic friends, you guys do become emotionally intertwined, even if you're not having sex. You guys are enjoying spending time together. You're caring about one another. You want to be a positive part of that person's life. That comes with some level of emotions. So for you to be involved in a especially a friends with benefits relationship, not a booty call situation, this is your F buddy, you guys should be some level of emotionally involved, especially since it comes with sex. If both of you guys are going to try to make the claim that you're not going to have emotions involved at all, what's the point of having sex? You're sharing spiritual energy. That's just happening. And in order for there to be good sex, you want to care about that person's pleasure. So that level of intimacy that you guys are entering in requires some level of emotional give. So you have to give emotions, and it's okay to give emotions. Friends with benefits or no strings attached, those are just committal strings. That's not speaking to emotional ties and healthy emotional ties, right? Because I talk a lot about not involving yourself emotionally more than you should, or if you feel that, communicating and changing things if that is the case. But I don't stress at all not being emotionally attached to this person. That's just not ideal. It's not possible. You find yourself not even having fun because you're trying to fight any level of good emotions that you're feeling as it pertains to this person. So that's a mistake, I feel. And you're robbing yourself of a good time. You really are. The next mistake I want to bring up is spreading yourself too thin, running the risk of making a bunch of empty promises. So I choose to have just kind of one F buddy that I can focus in on, or whatever, maybe there's another person or whatever, no more than 3. And that's because you don't want to find yourself not having fun, running around trying to please this person and that person and that person. And then when you're not able to please these people and you're making these empty promises, hey, I'm gonna be over your house at 6, and then you're not there until like 10, or you find yourself not going over there because you're having so much fun with this F buddy that you're spending time with and you lost track of time. You're creating a space where this person not only doesn't trust you, they possibly can feel like you're no longer having as good of a time in you guys' dynamic as maybe you really are. And you're just spreading yourself way too thin trying to please all of these people, literally and figuratively. So not a good idea. I would say pick a good number that is good for you. And I don't mean from the beginning, but I just mean as you're going through friends with benefits relationships and you're feeling your way out and involving people in your space, figure out what is the optimal number for you to be having a good time and be able to maintain good time relationships with the other people that you are involving yourself with. If you found that you've overcommitted or you are no longer having a great time in all of these relationships, as I said before, you got to drop some hoes, period. And the last one, this one kind of piggybacks off of what I just said, but not being selfish enough, not prioritizing yourself. I've said multiple times throughout this channel, friends with benefits relationships are a bit selfish in nature. You guys are there because you want to feel good, you want to have fun, you want to be intimate, you want to have sex, but you don't want to commit. You don't want to put in the hard work that comes with being in an actual committed relationship, and that's okay. And realizing that this is a selfish dynamic that both of you have entered into, as long as you're being respectful of the other person, do not put them first when it comes to your future, your happiness. Don't do that, because this is not the space for that. This is a space for you to be feeling good about yourself, feeling good about the time that you're having. So if you need to not see this person for a couple of days in a row so that you can finish some work stuff, or if you want to go on a trip by yourself or with another person, do that. Do that. Don't make this dynamic all about them and their comfort, because it's not about that. It is about you guys exploring and having a good time together, and you being able to prioritize the things in life that will make you happiest. Don't put yourself in a space where you are putting another person above you. That's not how friends with benefits should work. You are here for you. So have a good time. So that's about it, guys. That's all I have on the mistakes I see people make in friends with benefits relationships. As always, if you have any further questions, or maybe you want to know a little bit more in depth what some of these that I talked about looks like, please feel free to ask in the comments or mention in the comments that maybe you'd like another more in-depth video. I have no problem doing that. For now, I've given you what I had. As always, guys, have fun, be safe, enjoy. See you on the next video.